What's going on, YouTube? Hope everyone's doing well. Before we get started real quick, I'm gonna take a brief little pause. That way you can go subscribe real quick before we get on with today's video. So I'll wait while you go do that. So you get it? All right. You clicked the button. Okay, you subscribed. All right, cool. So it's about a week later after Ruckus. Been kind of busy working all week and ain't really had no time to film any content or do anything else to the build. But yeah, me and my brother, we went up to Ruckus. We left that Saturday morning about right at 6 o'clock and got there right at 10 when the gates was opening, and it was already lining up pretty good when we got there. Got a good spot kind of right in the middle of everything, and you know, that way we could walk one way, kind of see everything, and then walk back down, make a big lap, you know. So yeah, we had a good old time and met a lot of cool people there, and learned a few things. Shout out to John Pittman. He's one of the reasons we're doing this video today, because I had a question for him, and at a certain, basically, so 29 is about as loud as I can turn it up as far as before clipping. I think 30 on the head unit is clipping, but 28, you kind of sort of can hear it, but not really. But as soon as you go one more click to 29, you start hearing, it almost sounds like the spider has separated from the basket, but I don't think that's the case. And John also, you know, what he thought it was is kind of what I was thinking it was. So, you know, I've got a 3-inch air port. If you watched how I built the box and everything, I was originally gonna go with a 4-inch air port, and I didn't have the room inside the box for, you know, to be able to tune down to 27 hertz like I wanted to. So I went with a 3-inch port, which is more narrow. That way I could have the room to tune down to 27. But since like I think what's happening is, since it's such a narrow port, it's getting a lot of port chuffing, and that's what's causing that noise at high volumes. And it doesn't sound good. It almost sounds like something's breaking, but it hasn't gotten worse. It's just the same as it's been. So what I'm gonna try and do in this video is go from a 3-inch port to a 4-inch port like I was originally gonna do in the first place. But I'm gonna have to figure out. I've seen people do it. I don't really exactly know how, but I think I kind of got an idea in my head. So I won't actually be able to mount this flange to the wood itself, because I just don't have the height inside of the box in the top chamber for this 4-inch port, because this is the length that it was sent to me in. It's 18 inches total, and according to the Precision Port website, right now, if I put this in there, it'll be tuned at 29 hertz in the bottom versus the 27 that it is right now. Which, I mean, that's not a huge difference, but I really think it'll, for one, eliminate the port chuffing, and two, I honestly think it'll make it louder and maybe a little windier. So kind of excited to see how that does. But before I do that, I figured, since I'm gonna be, you know, I need to go ahead and get one, since I'll be testing and tuning, and instead of just going by ear, get a more accurate reading. So got myself a little early Christmas present, and I got this SPL Labs mini bass meter. Got it on Amazon. I think it's like about 220 bucks. So before we pull the box and do the swapping of the port and everything, I want to find my peak frequency, what it's peaking at, and see what it reads before with the 3-inch port right now, and then see what it reads after with the 4-inch port. I think it's going to be louder, at least by 2 or 3 dBs, but we'll see. But there's that. And then also, now I've noticed at the past few shows I went to, a lot of guys, they'll have these, actually bigger than these, but they'll have a clamp similar to this, but not quite exactly. But they'll have them in a couple different places. They'll have some up here, up top here, on the sides, down low. But those guys have got so much pressure that they need that so it don't tear their door off, and to keep the pressure in and stuff, which I'm not competing or anything like that, but I'm just curious too if these would help, as far as, well, I know they would, but this is just a regular old toggle clamp, got on Amazon. It was 2 of them for like 13, 14 bucks, something like that. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna pre-drill my holes, and this will actually be mounted down a little lower so it's not up in my way as far as elbow room and stuff. But I'm actually gonna mount this piece to the door panel, and I've got 1.25 inch self-tapping screws. So I'm gonna pre-drill, so it'll be going through the 3/4 inch wood door panel, and then another, what's that, 1/2 inch into the metal of the actual door. So bolt this to the door, and so bolt that to the door. I'm trying to get a good view for you here. And then when the door, say this is the passenger door, when the door shuts, and then probably end up drilling out of place in the plastic panel. So then you can push this, and that will help keep the door from flexing and you know, damaging that mechanism where the door actually latches. And I want to see too if this will actually increase SPL. So I'm going to test that as well before or with these locked down and without them locked down, to see if that changes anything. But I just figure, why not? I'm gonna, you know, you don't never know until you try. So yeah, so we get this base meter set up, and then we will start testing that 3-inch port. Alright, so I'm going to test it in about 6 different locations and do like a low sweep, you know, at about half volume. So I'm going to do it right here, I'm going to move it up here, and then there, probably up here, right there, and then up here, and see where it's the loudest at and at what frequency. So I just got this, it's the DJ Rusticles USB. I got a 20 to 80 hertz sweep, and I'm not going to be letting it go all the way to 80. I'm gonna probably try and stop it off around 45 maybe. I'm just going to kind of listen by ear. But so there wasn't a lot of clear instructions with this SPL meter, so I found some videos online, and it shows basically how you set it up so you can figure out, so it'll hold your peak frequency. So all you gotta do, let's see, you hit hold, the middle button, and it'll show off. So then you go P3, P2, you can do P1, and then hit P1, and then hit hold. So then it'll show back on the low. So bass knob all the way up, and I'm gonna turn it to about, we'll do 16. Hold on, we'll restart that here. Alright, that was, let's see, that was 24 hertz. I don't think that's quite right. Let's try that again. Reset. Alright, so that's a little better. 128.1. That was at 25 hertz. Alright. Move it up here. Reset. Restart it. Yeah, still 25 hertz. Reset. Put it down here in the bottom middle. One 27.2. Try it over here. Reset. One 26.1. So yeah, I think it's going to be louder on the passenger side. Reset. Yeah, it's gonna be louder on the passenger side. So I know it was loudest right in here. I'm gonna try it with the door open. So the passenger window has been up and the driver window has been open the whole time. So I'm gonna just try it with the door open and see if that changes. So I think we had a 128.1. Let's see. Frequency, yeah, 47. So I'll let it go too long because you know it's got, since it's a 6th order, it's got a low peak and then a high peak, so it peaks a little higher when I let the frequency go up further. So we'll try that one more time. Try and stop it off. Alright, I'm gonna shut the door back and I'm gonna play around and see. I'm gonna start out, I'm gonna do a 25 hertz. Let's see. That's 25 hertz. Let's see what she reads. I don't know if it picked it up on there, but it that was that port noise I was talking about. So 141.7, 25 hertz. Reset. I'm gonna go up a little bit on the let's see, 28 hertz. .5. Reset. Let's go do 29 hertz. .6. Reset. Let's try 30. Well, that's -5 dB. We'll make it fair because the rest of them's been at 0 dB. 30 hertz. Still a 144.6. Let's try 27 because that's what it's tuned at. Reset. Yeah, 44.1. So I think it was 29 is what it was loudest at. I had to go back and watch the footage, but so yeah, that's almost a 145. But like I said, I think with that bigger port, it's going to be louder. So just for the heck of it, let's try a couple more. See, there's 32. Reset. Uh-oh. 45.5 at 32. Well, let's go up 34 and see. Reset. $34. Uh-oh. 146.1. Wow. That's louder than I thought it was going to be. Let's try 36. Yeah, I think 34 is going to be it. 145.6. So that's not too bad. Let's see. Let's go up to about, let's see here, 50. Let's see what 55 do. And it actually clipped just a little bit on that when I went up to 28. I had to back it down one notch. Reset. Let's try 50. See what it's at about. Let's do a 40. See what it does at 45. Reset. Yep. So that was that 146.1. Ain't too bad for one little 12. Well, I say little, but it's still 112. But we might be able to get up close to the 150s, hopefully. But we'll see. So I'm gonna go down the shop and start taking this box out, and then we'll get that port out, and I'll kind of show you how I think I'm gonna mount this 4-inch port. So I'll see you then. Alright, so got the box removed, and I want you to do me a favor and go like this video if you just cannot stand daylight savings time, because I know I can't, because it ain't but like 6:15 right now. So yeah, so I don't think I've ever actually showed an inside view of how I got it hooked up. So I already removed the wires from the sub, but basically just got a 1 bolt for both positives and 1 bolt for both negatives. And what I'm going to do before I put it back in is, so the last 2 times I've had to remove this top panel while the box was still in the truck, and then reach in here over the top and put a ratchet on this side and use a wrench on this side to loosen that nut to take the speaker wire off. Well, I'm not gonna have to do that no more, because what I did was, well, I should have done it in the first place, but so that first nut is what's actually holding the bolt like tight to the wood. So then this second one, this second nut, I'm gonna put a washer in between it. So then you'll put the speaker terminal positive and negative on, and then just tighten it down. That way it'll be a lot faster taking it in and out, because I won't have to take the access panel off while it's still in the truck. So and yeah, those, just as I suspected, those brad nail T-nuts, they didn't pull out or nothing, so that worked out real good. So I'll get this camera set up and pull this sub out real quick. Yeah, I might have to put some more of that window sill down, where I might not even put it back down, because it's already got that rubber gasket on there. So might just not even worry about putting no more of that stuff back down, because last 2 times I've had to, well, the time before this it all came off with it as well. So like I said, I don't think it's the spider that has detached from the basket. Yeah, that thing's still attached really good. So that's got to be, that noise has got to be that chuffing from the port being too small. So what I got to do now is I got to reach up under here and feel for the heads of the screws and remove this 3-inch port. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that thing out real quick. I'll be back. Alright, so I got the port out, and so if you watched the video when I was actually building the box, you'll see that I had this little beauty panel to kind of cover up where I had to cover up this ring here, because originally I was going to do a 4-inch port and ended up shrinking it to a 3. So this ring was right here, and I had it held down by these 4 screws and construction adhesive. So it, you know, I used the osculating tool and a chisel and got it out, but it kind of boogered the wood up just a little bit. But it ain't no big deal, because I'm actually, basically all I'm gonna do is build a piece similar to this, but bigger, a little bit bigger. So it can probably come through here, go across, and then back. Same concept, but I'm going to do it to where it's a very tight tolerance for this 4-inch port. So that 4-inch port will just barely, I mean, I'm going to have to probably try and force it in there, and also use like some silicone and stuff to kind of hold it to the wood and stuff. So right now, remember that this 4-inch port is 18 inches long, and according to their website, at 18 inches it's like 29 hertz is what it would be tuned to. So I've got, you want to keep 4 inches, the diameter of the port, away from any internal wall. So this is the bottom of the bottom chamber, and I got some 4-inch blocks cut just to kind of give me a general idea how far it needs to go down. And up here at the top, I only have, let's see if I can get a good measurement here. So that's flush with the top of the top chamber. I have right at 2 inches. So I'm actually going to have to cut this center tube, take 2 inches off, and I'll try and throw in a little image screenshot here. But it'll actually put it to about 30.5 is what it would be tuned to. So I'm gonna get to working on cutting out that panel, and I'll be back. All right, so here's the 3-inch port panel piece, and got this one cut out for the 4-inch port. I think it's 7 inches by 9 inches, and that'll cover up most of that messed up wood there. I did ended up, that ring that was in there, I took the 4 screws out, and I just took a chisel and had to hammer and break apart that ring and, you know, vacuum all that mess out. So the reason I did that is because I wanted to be able to have this thing fully assembled and not have to worry about trying to put tape around this bottom part of the flare to attach the flare to the port, to the center tube. So that's why I did that. But I used the Lexel silicone, and that's what's basically holding this port in. And whenever I traced out the circle for this port, I made it like I said, it was such a tight fit that I literally had to like force it into that hole. And then I just kind of, I set it down in there, and then got my measurements to where I had 4 inches from the bottom, and then I just marked a line all the way around the top and the bottom with a Sharpie, and then pulled it back down a little bit, put a nice fat bead of silicone, and then I slid it back up to where it needed to be, and you know, it pushed all that stuff up, and so it's got a nice bead around the top. And I put another bead, I put a nice bead on the bottom as well. So and this stuff's going to take a little while to cure, so I might have to give it a few days before I can, you know, start playing it. But I'm gonna get this thing thrown in here. I already got my holes pre-drilled, and I'm not gonna worry about painting it or anything. You won't never see that, no way. So yep, work on getting this port screwed down, get this sub back in here, and I'll be back. Alright, full disclosure, so upon further inspection, all the stitching and everything looked good on the basket here, but I did notice, so from these tensile leads to those over here, I noticed there's a little bit of a gap right here. When I push down, you can see it. Now it's not pulling all the way off, and when I push up on it, you really can't see it unless you actually push down on the spider. But what I'm going to do, it's not like it on the other side, it's just on these over here. And this is the other side. So see, that one's still attached. So what I'm gonna do, I looked up found a YouTube video. So a guy basically used this exact stuff right here. I think his was like the Loctite brand though. So basically just a 5-minute epoxy. It takes like 5 minutes to set and then like an hour to cure. So I'll put this nozzle on here, and I'm just gonna go try not to get on the tensile leads, you know what I mean, but I'm just gonna try and push that down, fill in that gap, and then just kind of cake it on there. And I'm even gonna put it on this side as well, just for the heck of it. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all. I don't think that was the issue. Like I said, I still think it was the port noise, but I'm kind of glad that I caught that. So since I got this thing out, I'm gonna go ahead and get her all buttoned up. All right, so I got all that epoxy on there real good. Just gonna let it cure. It's already been about 15 minutes, so it's probably already dry to the touch. But I also went ahead, since I had some extra, I just put some on top of that silicone, just to help a little bit holding that in. But that thing is pretty sturdy. I don't think I'm gonna have an issue with it. So I was gonna start trying to mount this toggle clamp, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to, because I just don't have the room that I thought I would. It's gonna be interfering with the seat, and it would be all up in your elbow arm area, and same thing on the passenger side. I mean, I could possibly do it somewhere out here, but I don't really want to start drilling holes into the outside and then just having this thing sticking out, you know what I mean? So, oh well, scratch that idea. But yeah, I'm gonna let that epoxy cure a little bit more and throw this sub in, and I'll check back in with you here in a little bit. All right, guys, so it's later the same day. It's about 9 o'clock right now. I just drove down here to a nice secluded road. It's actually a fire break, a couple fire breaks along through here, so there ain't no houses around here, so you know, I ain't trying to be disturbing the peace at 9 something at night. But got everything hooked back up, wired up and everything. And the only thing that's gonna be different about this go around is I'm just using this little power cube that runs to the meter, because right now I got the LEDs hooked up in the box. That's why I'm not using the power outlet right there. So I can already tell just by ear it's already louder. It's not a lot louder, but it's definitely a lot windier. So let's see, reset this. So the only thing it's not going to tell is my voltage, which I mean I can see it down here. So 32 hertz, 0 dB. Oh, 147.2. Let me turn this flash off. 147.2. I knew it was louder. Let's go up. 34. Reset. I actually clipped it just a little bit, but that's because these are 0 dB test tones, and I got my amp tuned at -5. So I think 32 is gonna be good. 30. Let's try 30. Reset. So I'll take that. It sounds a lot better than what it did. And the results are in 1.1 dB. I'll take that. No more port noise, no more chuffing. It's a lot windier with the window down, at least on one side. Sounds a lot cleaner too. But yeah, I think that's gonna about wrap this video up. And make sure you stay tuned for all the upcoming things that I do to the build here. I don't know quite what I'm gonna do next, but just make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date on everything. But thank you for watching. Make sure you go hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one.